And for dirty, the Browns already today. The Kraken extended their point streak to 10 straight games, but did lose in overtime last night to the Wild 3-2. The Kraken begin a 5-game road trip tomorrow night in Carolina.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Hopefully you had a great week getting ready for a big football weekend that does not involve the Seahawks directly, but we'll talk a lot about the impact that the outcomes will have on them. The text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We got mean text coming up at 4:30 today. We are done at 4:40. We will turn you over to the College football playoff semifinal, Oregon and Indiana. I'm guessing there are a lot of Indiana fans listening right now.
I'm guessing I'm the only Oregon fan today.
You probably are.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a
only
handful
for today,
of,
don't worry.
There's a handful of you out there. So we'll turn you over to that game coming up at 4:40. Mike Lefko in today for Dave Wyman. Text in again, 866-979-3776. Dave's absence means he becomes an even bigger target for mean text.
Always.
Yeah.
I think he gets more when he's not here.
Does he?
Yeah. He got a lot last week when he wasn't here. So, they know he won't kind of fight back.
I guess he's just fun to pick on. I don't know. I don't know why they take out their frustrations on him. At 3 o'clock, we'll bring in Paul Moyer to do his victory lap. We saw him at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center yesterday.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He was very proud.
So that's why he texted to confirm. He never usually texts asking, hey, are we still doing that tomorrow?
Didn't he even say something about it on the text? Like,
yeah, I need to do a slow motion victory lap.
Is that what it was?
Slow down how you play back my prediction. I want to play it at least 5 times. I don't know. He had a list of demands.
He said, are we good for the show tomorrow? I know y'all have a short show, but I want my run the table promo in slow motion, and I'm just going to wallow in my brilliance.
No wonder Dave's not here.
He's a gracious winner. Yeah, that might be why Dave's not here. He didn't want to face that. He didn't want to deal with it. So Paul Moyer will be with us at 3 o'clock. Jeffri Chadiha of the NFL Network at 4 p.m. And then again, mean text coming up at 4:30. And we should welcome back our guy, Matt Nelson. Matt, how are you?
So great.
It's so good to see you.
Just so great. Just wonderful. I'm sure everyone was just missing me so much.
We were.
What a
We
terrible
were.
week
They
it
were.
must have been
Come on,
for
we
y'all.
have Brady there. How could we not miss you?
Well,
I'm kidding. We love
fair.
Brady. Brady's a good guy. But he was talking about you, how much he loves to annoy you just by being here, not even saying anything.
Yeah, that sounds about right for him.
Well, Matt is back, so the joy has been brought back into the booth back there.
The ray of sunshine.
We had some visitors. What was it? Was it last week? When was it? We were like, oh man, Matt would be loving this.
What, the students?
Is that
No.
they weren't? He wasn't here. There was a day. I think that might have been it.
No, I was here for the students.
No, I wasn't
Were you?
here for
Lefko
that,
was
yeah.
gone for the students.
Okay, somebody else
is
was
pretty
in.
funny.
We were just going, Matt would have just loved this. I can't remember. But anyway, good to have you back. If you want to take shots at Matt on the mean text, help yourself.
Oh, there was
as
the
well.
news crew that was in here. You could have been on TV,
That's what
Matt.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of Brady.
We had King 5 in
Thank
here.
goodness.
Yeah, we were on TV. You could have been a TV star.
Never been happier to be sick in that case.
They were here for a long time, too.
Yeah. And they're chatting it up. I could see Matt getting irritated, putting his headphones on, just going, I'm checking out of this conversation. All right, so we'll get into some of the mean text, some of the conversation about the games coming up this weekend. But usually when the Seahawks are playing every Friday, we do a Call It Now segment with predictions, but they're not playing. So we're going to do Call It Now wrapped around the teams that they could be facing.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
It's time for Wyman and Bob to put their reputations on the line.
I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything. Call it.
This is Call It Now.
Good answer. Like the way you think.
That's Sam Kinison, that last bit there.
Yeah.
And obviously the yelling part. But yeah, that's good stuff. The late, great Sam Kinison. All right. Call it now. We'll start with the Panthers-Rams matchup. So just a couple of easy questions about each of these games we'll get through here. The very obvious one. Who wins this one? Let's go.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is obvious. I think that we've made the Panthers into kind of the laughing stock of the playoffs, and good for them if they find a way to use that motivation and win.
They just beat the Rams.
But weeks ago, regular season, with the season on the line, Davante Adams is back. I know the Rams have struggled, but I don't see any way the Rams lose. So, yes, I think the Rams win this one.
Rams are on the road, and they are 10.5-point favorites. It's just but Vegas has no faith, and I don't either. I mean, look, we always talk about predictions you'd like to be wrong about. Come in and go, yep, I was wrong. This would be one, but I'm picking the Rams. I would love to see the Panthers go out there and just humiliate them. So we're both going with the Rams. That's chalk. That's easy. All right, how about this? Do the Rams cover that 10.5-point spread? I put that on there knowing we were both going to pick the Rams.
So at first, I thought, well, yeah, the Panthers, they're scrappy. We saw them play well against the Seahawks, and they did beat the Rams. That defense is good enough to keep games close. Then I was thinking about it. Even if the Panthers, hold the Rams like 17 points, I have no confidence in that offense. We watched them. They're terrible.
You don't think they can score
nothing.
7 if they hold them to 17?
I think they score 2 field goals. The Rams defense is good. So I was thinking along those lines. I was like, man, 10.5 seems like a lot. But then the first score that came to mind was something around 17-6. And I was like, oh, we know radio math is tough, but even that is more than 10.5. I know that. So I think the Rams cover. I think they cover this.
I'm going to go Panthers. This is where I'll show a little belief in the Panthers and say that the Rams will not cover. The Rams will not cover the 10.5. I got to have something against that team. So I picked them to win.
The Panthers will win somehow.
That would be so delightful. So delightful. All right. So you think they cover. I'm saying they don't. How about this? The brain surgeon that is Puka Nacua, the nuclear physicist. He's a thinker, by God. It's all in your head when it comes to concussions. Just ask him. Over under 8.5 catches.
By the way, I don't know if this was intentional. I assume it was. We haven't heard much from him lately. So I imagine this week the Rams have probably kept him under a tight monitoring system and said, all right, any interview you do, we're going to be right there kind of as bodyguards, that PR staff, making sure nothing like that gets said.
They're Dave Pearson standing there going, no.
The equivalent of when you guys interviewed Jason Myers and there were 2 people next to him flanking him. So Puka Nacua is going to have
he's a wild card.
as bodyguard.
Yeah.
I think he goes under because I'm not sure what kind of game this will be for the passing attack. The Panthers do have a good pass defense. Those cornerbacks are good.
Yeah.
Mike Jackson is good. J.C. Horn's a Pro Bowler. And Davante Adams is back. I think that'll spread out some targets a little bit. So with all the weapons they have, I'm going under for Puka.
I'm taking the under as well for the reason the fact that they've got their big receiver back in the way of touchdowns. I mean, Davante Adams, the number of touchdowns he's had receiving this year, he's been their guy. Obviously, their leader in catches and yards is Puka, but when you look at touchdowns, he's been wildly productive. So, I'm going to take the under on that. I just hope he has an awful day. I hope it's just dreadful.
I hope we're talking good, unfortunately.
He's very good. This isn't even about his talent. He's very good. But he's becoming more and more annoying. It's making it easier to hate the Rams. So I'll take the under on that as well. All right, let's move on to the Bears and Packers. We may differ here. Who wins?
Oh. Okay. See, I think a lot of people are now on the side of the Packers. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, and maybe I knew you were going to do this because we were discussing our picks right before we came on.
Yeah.
So I did watch you fill out your bracket as there was some maneuvering happening. But no, I've been on the Packers from the start because, the Bears beat them, sure, but it took everything. The one time they did, it took Malik Willis, Titans legend, coming in there, and still the Packers almost won. You needed a miracle comeback from Caleb Williams and an onside kick, and then a crazy throw at the end. So I think a healthy Packers team with Jordan Love and a lot to prove after they had some playoff frustrations last year. Yes, I think the Packers do win this, even though the Bears, seed-wise, are the better seed.
Yeah, I'm with you. I thought you were going to go Bears.
No.
I'm going Packers on this, which means the Seahawks would face the Packers.
Yes,
next
which
weekend.
Is also kind of informing my opinion because I do want that matchup. I know you and Dave talked about it. I just get the Packers out of the way. Why have to go through the Rams and the 49ers or the Rams and the Eagles? 2 tough teams. You get the 1 seed, so you don't have to theoretically play like the 2 and the 3. But the 2 best teams are not the seeds this year. So give the Seahawks the most agreeable path to get them to a Super Bowl. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter who you play. It matters if you win the Super Bowl.
It's the one they have the least knowledge of. They've faced the other 3 possibilities.
Yeah.
obviously twice the Rams, twice for the 49ers, and once for the Panthers. So they faced all three of the other possibilities. Packers are the one they haven't, but I'll go with the Packers. And oddly enough, the Packers are favored on the road here in Chicago by, according to ESPN, by 1.5. So do the Packers cover that 1.5 point spread?
I say yes, because to me, just a 1-point win seems strange. Like certainly a field goal will decide it or something that will make it not a 1-point game. Obviously, 1-point games happen. We've seen plenty of them this year. The Seahawks have played at least one that we know of, that infamous Rams win. But 1 point seems weird. So, yes, I think the Packers, since I have them winning, they're going to cover that spread.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. They'll cover that spread. So we'll see the Packers and the Seahawks playing in the first meeting for the Seahawks. They get this week off. So Lumen Field welcoming the Cheeseheads to town.
That'll be a fun playoff reunion.
It would, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of history between those two teams. Some good, some not so good. All right, who throws for more yards in this game? Jordan Love or Caleb Williams?
This is a good one. This is a tough one, Bob. The other ones, I was like, kind of have a solid backing for my decision there. But both defenses have issues. The Packers' defense looks terrible since Micah Parsons got hurt. And I think because of that, they don't pressure the quarterback anymore. They are giving up a plethora of yards through the air. No one can really get to the quarterback for them now. I don't know. I think Caleb Williams is not going to have to pass. I said all that to say I think Caleb Williams is not going to have to pass because the Bears' rushing attack is much better. And the Packers just haven't done anything to stop anyone since Micah Parsons went out. So I think Jordan Love will just have to throw more and have to be the more productive quarterback because the Bears' run game is much better. So I'm going to go with Jordan Love throwing for more yards.
Yeah, I'm going Jordan Love as well. I think he's going to come out there and show what he can do and show that he's the better of the two prospects out there, young quarterbacks. He's already got his big deal. So, yeah, I'll go with Love in this one. All right, Eagles, 49ers.
Now we're going to agree on this as well. I think your next
Probably.
questions have led me to think we're going to agree on this.
Yeah.
Maybe
who wins?
Maybe it's talking to El Hombre, but he paints such a negative picture of the Eagles. Then you actually look at them, and you're like, well, this defense is really good. It's one of the best defenses in the NFL. It's so deep. One of their losses, I know, was because Jalen Carter was not there, so he's back. The secondary is tough. We saw the Niners. They look like kind of a broken-down team. The offense wasn't even that good against the Seahawks, and the Eagles' defense is comparable, not as good as the Seahawks. But, yeah, I don't like the 49ers' chances in this at all, so I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles as well. I was trying to make the case for the 49ers because they were red hot coming into that game against Seattle. And they had already been dealing with Bosa being gone and Warner being gone and Ayuk and all these other guys. Trent Williams was the one they were dealing with there. But as far as the injuries coming into that game, that wasn't new for them. So they had won 6 in a row, 7 of 8. I was like, can they do? And they're a good road team. I believe they're 7-1 on the road this year, 7-2. Easy look up. But, yeah, I couldn't get over the hump. I got to go with the defending champions. They're at home. I'm going to go with the Eagles on that. So the question is, do the Eagles, who are favored by 5.5 points, cover that spread?
Yeah, I guess so. At first I thought, well, hey, the Niners, we know what they could do. Maybe they'll keep it close. But then it just feels like these opening weekends of the playoffs of the NFL over the past few years since they expanded, they just haven't been good. There have been blowouts across the board almost. And if I'm high on the Eagles, and I believe they're going to shut down the 49ers offense, and I don't think this one is relatively close. So, yeah, we'll go with Philly. They'll cover. They'll take this one.
I wonder how El Hombre would have answered that.
He would scoff and say no. He's going to pick them to lose because he's that prototypical negative fan.
He's negative, but I don't think he thinks they're going to lose. I think he's come to the realization. He said these people complaining about the offense not being explosive, get over it. This is who they are. Yeah. This is how they play, and this is how they win.
So maybe he thinks they'll keep it close then.
Yeah. Do the 49ers hang in there? I'm gonna say the Eagles don't cover the spread. Okay. How about that? Just to be different here. I'll say it'll be a little closer.
We have to disagree somewhere. It's not going to be fun on Monday.
So I'll say they don't. All right. So who rushes for more yards? Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey?
After watching what the Seahawks did, I'm going to say Saquon Barkley.
Yeah. I think because of the shape the defense is in with the 49ers, what we just saw, I mean, they just locked McCaffrey down. He was a non-factor. outside of not catching that ball that ended up in Drake Thomas's hands.
Yeah.
So, I'll go with Saquon in that. So there you go. There are our Call It Now picks. We'll come in Monday, see how we fared. And you guys can weigh in on those as well. 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, the impossible has happened. I was told by many, many smart people, Mike Lefko, that Damon Williams Jr. had taken his last nap in a Husky uniform, that it was over. And for all intents and purposes, it was. And then fast forward 48 hours later, he says, you know what? I was just kidding. I think I can hang out with you guys a little bit longer. And he's apparently planning to come back to the University of Washington to quarterback this team to glory in 2026. And he says, I am fully committed and focused on contributing to what we are building.
Translation, I was going to get sued, and the benefits were not worth it.
Yeah, and I just got dropped by my agent. I don't know who was giving him advice. I don't know who was guiding him. Clearly, it wasn't his agent, because his agent was like, you're going to make a move like that without me after I just negotiated this deal, locked it down, signed, sealed, delivered 4 days earlier, all of that work, and then you take to social media to say, just kidding, I'm moving on. I get it. I mean, and I think Damon Williams saw how he was being portrayed out there. And this is a weird thing. Like, how does this go? I sent out a tweet, do Husky fans want this guy back? And it was a resounding no. Now, if he starts slinging the ball all over the place and they're winning, all's forgiven, right?
Yeah, winning fixes everything. I mean, this is such an uncomfortable situation, and I feel almost secondhand embarrassment for all sides. For Damon Williams, certainly. For UW as well. You're going to just welcome this guy back? He made it clear he did not want to be here. He posted an Instagram message that, by all accounts, took his entire team off guard, caught him off guard, because it happened during that funeral of the soccer player who passed away. So during that tragic situation where all of the university athletic department is honoring this student athlete who passed away, that's when he chooses to send
for that too.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got to come back, so he's got to do something. But he clearly wanted to leave. You don't say I'm leaving if you don't want to leave. So
Right.
now to walk back, what does that say about the Huskies football program? They're just going to welcome him back.
It means they don't have a better option.
Right. There's no school pride anymore, and we know that with college
this is about winning.
athletics.
This is a 1 year. It's a year-to-year proposition, because at the end of next year,
He's gone.
He could be in the same boat
I think
again.
he's gone after this year.
Yeah.
Someone's going to offer money again. And so it's tough, I think it's much tougher for fans. For players, they will get over it if Damon Williams does the right thing. Now, is he going to? I think you could win your team back over if you do something like, hey, I'm going to take you guys all out to dinner. Or I'm going to buy my teammates something nice, or donate a portion of this $4+ million that I still am going to get here to smooth over the locker room. And whatever it takes, hey, if you have to blame someone else and say, I got some bad advice from so-and-so, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. He needs to do that, or else it's going to be an incredibly awkward season. Think about if you're an offensive lineman trying to protect him now. Like, this guy? I want to protect this diva? It's going to be like the
You're
scene.
just opening the door going, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the scene from The Longest Yard. Well, the new one with Adam Sandler, where the offensive line just walks away.
Whoa.
Did they have that in the old one, too? I haven't seen the old one.
You can't make reference to The Longest Yard and then say Adam Sandler.
Well, I hadn't
That
seen
movie was a turd.
Well, I knew in the new one they did that. So I didn't know if they did it in the old one.
Yeah, the old one with Burt Reynolds.
They
the
did the same thing where the offensive line let everyone go through. And
Yes.
hit them.
He
Okay.
was
So
just
in The
getting
Longest Yard,
crushed.
when they do that, it's going to be like that if Damon Williams doesn't apologize and show that he's contrite.
I think he's going to say all that, but I think it's going to take more than words. He's going to have to go out there. He's going to have to go out there and be a stud. I mean, he's going to have to be undeniable. He's got no slack with this fan base. His players, we'll see how that goes. But this fan base, the boosters, all of those people, you go out there, you have a bad game, you turn the ball over, you don't make plays, you don't have that slack now.
I wonder if he's going to get booed when he runs out for the very first game.
I bet there'll be some.
There should be a lot until he does anything. Yeah, maybe boo this kid.
Yeah. Somebody said after surviving the 0-12 season, this is nothing compared to that. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. UW fans, whether you're alum or you're just a hardcore Husky fan, do you want him back? Are you excited that he's coming back? Are you going to be cheering for him, or do you feel like, no, this guy showed he was out there for himself. He was putting himself above everybody else and was going for the bigger payday. He started getting $4+ million. And he was going to get reportedly somewhere close to $6. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what's out there. You want him back? Because I saw a lot of resounding no's on social media. Now, again, if he starts slinging it and they're winning and all of a sudden he's a Heisman candidate, everybody loves him again. But I think he's got a lot of work to do to win over that locker room, win over that fan base, win over the booster, everybody that's involved in this. He's got work beyond the football field.
Yeah, it's just not a good situation. And it's such a short, condensed time period that what stops him from, in all likelihood, leaving again after this season? He wanted money. If he's going to get offered more money than the Huskies are willing to pay, he's probably gone after this season as well. So I just don't know what kind of team this looks like this upcoming year for Washington. You're kind of playing for this one season, but it has the potential to be a disaster. Unless someone's got to take leadership in that locker room. Maybe it's DeMond Williams. Maybe it's, I don't even know who, because it's so migratory now in college athletics. But this has the potential of being an absolute train wreck.
Yeah. It's this is fascinating to watch. I mean, everybody done deal. See, you can't make him play. He doesn't have to. He's not technically a school, employee, so they can't make him play. Here he is. He's on his way back. Get ready, folks. Get ready for DeMond Williams Jr. taking snaps under center for your beloved Washington Huskies. Let's take two.
Well, some NFL front office movement. We heard the Dolphins are going to hire a GM before they even look to a head coach. Well, news today that they're close to hiring Packers VP of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan. And you could assume the head coach search will pick back up. And of the known interviews for the Seahawks assistants today, the Ravens announced that they had interviewed Clint Kubiak. Peter Schrager says he's also interviewing with the Raiders later today.
Does anybody, if he's a guy that's got multiple options out there, which appears Clint Kubiak could, depending on where Harbaugh goes and everybody else, but aren't the Raiders the last one? Isn't that the bottom of the barrel? They don't have a quarterback. They got an owner that's iffy at best in terms of meddling. They've got a bad O-line. That just does not feel like a team that's ready to win. They got their star defensive player, Max Crosby, is pissed that they sat him. He's stormed out of the building and posted videos of himself playing basketball, all that. I'm fine. I'm healthy. So that feels like the last place any of these guys want to go.
I guess you could say if he really wants to be a head coach and they're the only team that offers. But at that point, hey, just come back. Just come back to Seattle. It'll be better. You'll improve your stock.
Depends on how desperately you want a job.
Right.
If you feel like, look, I'm going to have more opportunities next year. I'm going to ride this thing out. Yeah, I wouldn't. That just feels like a place to go and really struggle.
A lot going on with the Mariners. They agreed to 2026 salaries with 6 of their 7 arbitration-eligible players yesterday. Bryce Miller, the only one they could not come to terms with. They're not that far off, though. Bryce Miller filed at $2.625 million. The Mariners at $2.25 million. And then today, the Mariners found out that they're the opening Sunday Night Baseball game under the new NBC and Peacock deal.
How about that? Who's
the Guardians?
Guardians, okay.
But here's the problem, Bob. It's a Peacock exclusive.
So it's on the app.
So it's on Peacock.
You got to stream it.
I'm going to have to call Wyman, or he's going to call me, try to figure out how to get the game on.
He's going, I put my camera over the box thing on the screen, and it's not working. This damn thing. Yeah, that's the arbitration situation is great for them. And then you look at this money with Miller, what are they, $400,000 apart? Mm-hmm. Again, baseball dollars, 2.6 for him. Unbelievable. And I know he had up and down year injuries, all that, but again, we're talking baseball dollars. It's amazing how they are piecing together this rotation with this young talent.
So
very reasonable.
Kirby
price.
and Miller total are going to be about $8+ million this year.
It's insane.
That's incredible.
It's insane. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. A popular Super Bowl pick might explain a lot about the perception of the Seahawks. We'll dive into that conversation in Best of the Rest. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. Mike Lefkoe in for Wyman. Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
The Seahawks aren't just the top seed in the NFC and a Super Bowl betting favorite, but Bump, you said if they play like this, they can actually win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they can get it, man. Look, this is what you do. You run the football. 39 times they ran that thing. 180 yards on the ground. You had some explosive plays in the pass game, and this defense was smothering.
Bump and Stacy, only on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home, thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
the financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington from the space. For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to PendergastLaw.com. That's PendergastLaw.com.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Pricing coverage match limited by state law.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit Daniel Nelson DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
We know you love listening to us, but there are great discussions happening all over our station.
I need more Jake Bobo. I need more of them.
Because Jake Bobo is objectively fun to say.
Yeah, just not good at bats.
Let's tone it down.
It's time for the best of the rest.
How dare you?
It is best of the rest. Take a listen to some of the conversations happening with Bump and Stacy, Brock and Salk, and then we render what ultimately becomes the appropriate, accurate opinion on those topics.
Yes.
Yeah. It's left to us to really straighten it out. They kind of go back and forth, and we don't know which direction we should point. Here's where you go. Here's how it goes.
The voice of reason here.
That's exactly right.
On Wyman and Bob.
That's exactly right. Let's start with Brock and Salk. They were talking about the Seahawks and just why they are where they are right now, which is the number 1 seed, 14-win team that they are.
I think I've got to start with the line of scrimmage. What they've done there, what Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams do is the best defensive tackle combination in the league. And then you throw in the edge, in the 4 different edge components of it and all that they bring to it. So that is easy on that side. But as Daniel pointed out, man, offensively, first half of the season from a pass protection standpoint, Salk, incredibly solid. And then really the last quarter of this season and the last 3 games that have all been playoff opponent games, they're running for over 150 yards a game. I mean, and what they're doing on that phase of it, and the improvement from being
the improvement's amazing.
Yes,
but isn't it hard to fully believe there too? Like, I'm not saying the numbers are the numbers, and there's no doubt they're much improved. It's still sort of like
that's how fast things turn.
I know, but doesn't that kind of give you the little like, well, are they? Like, it kind of makes you think for a second. Like,
well, you've watched the Seahawks defense decimate 15 offensive lines this year, and you looked at many of them and went, "Ooh, that's kind of an older group. Oof, that is a ragtag group. Oof, that's a beat up crew. Oof, that's not a very talented crew."
I guess I've watched those things and not thought that. I've watched that and said, "Oh my God, the Seahawks defense is insane." I've just watched them and been like, "Well, good luck." The Seahawks defense, as you just said, everyone's going to look bad going up against Byron Murphy.
Well,
and
for
Leonard
10 years,
Williams, and
it's
Jaron
largely
Reed
been
in there as well.
And for 10 years, it's largely been, oh, good luck with that offensive line.
No kidding.
Good luck trying to be consistent, efficient, and run it and throw it, and they're doing it this year. So I think I got to land with DJ that from the both sides combined, that line of scrimmage is the number 1.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that because that's the biggest area of improvement is that D-line, the run defense, and it started last year. It started in the second half of last year. But since Mike McDonald is here, look, I love Pete as much as anybody, and he's the greatest coach in the history of the Seahawks organization. The end. But things started going the wrong way toward the end. The defense, which his reputation was predicated upon and built upon, and for good reason. Legion of Boom was the story in Seattle for years, and they put it out there. They proved it year in, year out. But that started to dissipate year after year after year. No matter who whether it was Ken Norton Jr. or Richard or whoever was the defensive coordinator, you're going, what has happened to this team? So it has taken a complete 180. And Murphy in particular was a guy that we've talked about, and you and I and Dave have all talked about it, that he was kind of anonymous last year. It was not that he was bad. I just would realize there would be games I'm like, man, I didn't even hear his name called, and he's turned into a presence in a very big way, tied for the sack total for the team lead in sacks with 7. I mean, that is the biggest area of improvement. In my opinion, the trenches, Brock's exactly right.
Well, and then, on the other side, we probably don't give the O-line enough credit because the defensive line is so good, and you have this big Pro Bowler anchoring it in Leonard Williams, and everything you just said about Byron Murphy. But then in thinking back to what you and Dave have asked guys like Steve Weish and Ross Tucker the past couple of days, how does this compare to other offensive lines? And they're like, oh, they all have problems. And they know the other teams better than we do. We hyperfixate on every single thing Seahawks related because we see them all the time. So for someone like Anthony Bradford, he makes a bad play. He does look out of position. Okay, this is atrocious, and this has to be fixed. Well, then you look at the totality of this offensive line. It's like, well, Charles Cross is good. Abraham Lucas is good. They've had stability. They've had everything there. And with the way the run game has shaped up these last 3 games, yeah, this offensive line's in pretty good shape, and I'm not sure I gave it the time of day thinking, well, it hasn't been a weakness, but it maybe even is better than we initially gave it credit for.
It is lately. It's had its moments. It's had its moments,
but I don't think it was to the detriment like we've seen at times where the past seasons it was completely crippling the offense. They couldn't get the run game going, but it wasn't the reason they were losing games this year. And I think in the past, they were losing games because of the offensive line.
Right.
I don't think you can point to it this year where the offensive line has cost them a game.
Let's see, Tampa Bay. No, I mean, two of the games, it's defense, although the offense turned the ball over 4 times in that Rams game. Defense was spectacular. Yeah, I mean, that the other two are when the defense was not at its best. But it's better than I think people give it credit for, because I think we've been conditioned to look at Anthony Bradford. Yeah. What did he do? Oh, look at that play. Terrible. Look at that play. And then we'll ignore the good plays. And I'm not making the case that he's great or he shouldn't be replaced or they shouldn't look to improve that spot. But I think they've certainly over the past 3.5 weeks, almost a month, have been different. And it feels like they've kind of found their rhythm. It's hard to deny when you see the run totals, you see what they're doing, which is something they hadn't done certainly on a consistent basis throughout the rest of the season. They'd have a good weekend and go, okay, the run game, is this the start of it? And then we go to the next weekend, they ran first 50 yards. You're like, all right, I don't know what's going on here. So, yeah, the trenches, though, ultimately hard to disagree with that. This one from Bump and Stacy talking about the Super Bowl favorites, say about who people trust in the playoffs.
What are the things we trust when it gets to the playoffs? Because the Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed. The Seattle Seahawks are the number 1 seed. I tend to see the Rams as a favorite, Josh Allen's Bills as a favorite, maybe a super hot Jags team. And I feel like, Bump, that what we trust in the playoffs becomes quarterbacks we know. Do you think that's the case?
I think that's where you start.
Yeah.
I think, like yesterday, I pointed out all the newness in the AFC. Right, Trevor Lawrence can't get over the hump. Justin Herbert played horrible in the playoffs. Caleb is he's on the NFC, but no one's really picking the new guys on the block to do this.
No.
And I think that's what we do as humans, as we just revisit history and say, well, they've shown that they can do it. The Rams lost to the Atlanta Falcons and the Panthers this year, yet teams are still picking them to win it. What's the excuse for the Rams? Oh, they didn't have Devontae Adams. The Hawks have beaten the Rams. What's the excuse there? Well, Matthew Stafford turned the football over, and they didn't have Devontae Adams, which I get. Devontae Adams is the best red zone target in the game right now. I understand that. I understand people picking the Rams because Sean McVay, he's been there before, because you have a good defensive line over there, because that secondary is decent, because you got Landman at that secondary. I get it. But what I don't understand is how come I don't see more people pulling for the Seahawks. Well, I get the people who do go for the Rams. Yeah, complete team. But how come I don't see that many people pulling for the Hawks?
Why am I not seeing a 50-50?
That really made a lot of sense, especially when you look at the AFC side. And we were diving through our picks, and I can't help but fixate on the Bills. I love the Bills coming out of the AFC. This is the 6th seed. The Broncos are the 1 seed. The Patriots won the division. They beat the Bills once this season. Should have beat them twice. Because they have Bo Nix, and because the Patriots have a second-year quarterback, you look at the best remaining quarterback, and it's Josh Allen on that side. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm glad they brought that up because I was kind of subconsciously thinking that way. But if you're favorites,
the Bills to come out of the AFC?
the Bills, yeah. Did you as well?
No.
I know a lot of people
I picked them to win their first game.
Which is crazy because the Jags have been great.
I know. And maybe it's just we're so conditioned to expect certain things, right? It's like with the Patriots winning every year with Brady. It's like, I got to pick them until they lose.
So I defaulted the known quantity of Josh Allen. He's the best quarterback. So I have the Bills coming through the AFC. And that's probably the only reason why.
I gave it to the Broncos just based on their defense. Their defense is really good. And we'll see how they are against, if they get there, how they match up against the Seahawks, who will get there. But yeah, they have a very good defense. So I think that, as we've learned, can cover up a lot of shortcomings on the offensive side of things. And I think they've got shortcomings with their offense.
Because you don't trust Bo Nix, do you?
Not complete. I mean, I've seen him look really good, seen him look really bad. I mean, but we've seen that with Sam Darnold. So
it's the unknown with the quarterbacks. Yeah. It was a great point they brought up. I hadn't really thought about it too much until they broke it down like that.
Yeah, so there you go. Hey, we've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab, or head to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find out how to enter. If you don't have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. The contest runs through Wednesday, January 14th. Meanwhile, the infield options are shrinking for the Mariners. We'll get into that conversation coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88. Every morning at 7:45, Brock Eward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply by February 11th and get your application fee waived. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes, along with more than 135 degrees and certificates in fields like business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. Gain the skills you need to achieve your career goals. Get your application fee waived through February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Seattle Sports is giving you two chances to win tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Tap the Win tab in the Seattle Sports app or visit the Seattle Sports YouTube page for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game.
Holy catfish!
That's 2 separate chances to be part of Seahawks history. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks.
Listen to the 12th man.
Seattle Sports.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A reminder, we are turning you over to the college football playoff semifinals between Oregon and Indiana, and we'll do that at 4:40 this afternoon, so just a little under 2 hours from now, which means mean text coming up at 4:30. 4:30, so get those mean texts in at 866-979-3776.
Not enough time for most of our listeners to get creative. But for the few that we hope will, 4:30.
We saw one or two in there, right? Couple?
Some, yeah. Yeah, expectations, they're low. So when you get one or two that go beyond, then it's gravy.
Come on, Matt is back. Does that not inspire some sort of venom from you guys? What's going on here?
My return has inspired vitriol in me, so it should inspire it in others as well.
Okay, well, with your vitriol, send in the mean texts of how happy you are to be back.
Yeah, so get those done. 4:30 is when we'll unveil those.
Man, I could be at home, but I have to sit with these two guys.
Having to listen to Lefko for 2.5 hours after a week of being sick, I don't know which is worse.
There we go.
He's going, I feel sick again. Did you happen to send in any mean texts while you were out? Were you out last week?
No, not out last week.
Oh, okay.
I was here last week.
I got you. Did you just send in anything mean? Didn't have to be for a mean text.
Of course I did. It's the most fun part of this job.
That's the beauty of today. Nobody knows anybody's phone number. You just have names in your phone. That's it. Matt could be sending in shots at me every day. I wouldn't know it was
I don't think I know anyone's phone number.
I don't. I don't know yours. I don't know Matt's. I don't know Wyman's.
Even relatives. I don't think I know anyone's phone
number. I know my
number.
parents, and that's it. Yeah. Because it's the same number they've had since I was 9.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they still have a landline. All right, some news around the world of baseball as the Mariners look to address their infield. According to Ken Rosenthal, he sent out a tweet earlier this morning saying Ketel Marte will remain with the Diamondbacks. Sources tell The Athletic he will not be traded. Now, take that for what it's worth. Maybe they're not eager to deal him, but were more than willing to if the right price came along. Obviously, they don't feel like the right price came along. Maybe this is their way of kind of, putting a little urgency on those that expressed interest in him, that didn't want to give what they were asking. So, all right, fine, we'll pull him off the market, and maybe another team's gone, well, now who do we go after? I don't know. It could be a negotiating ploy, or maybe they're just going to hang on to him. But for the time being, that was one option, which I didn't think was a realistic one based on what he's owed. Five more years, $91 million left on his deal. That didn't feel like a Mariners acquisition. But that does eliminate one of the names that we'd heard bandied about for a possible addition to this infield.
Yeah, I kind of worry about the trickle-down effect. I didn't think they'd get Ketel Marte as well.
Brendan Donovan is now going to...
Yeah, he's now the premier guy. So if, say, the Yankees were like, that's fine. We can handle Ketel Marte's salary. We'll give up whatever. All right, they're not interested in Donovan. But now if the Yankees, and this is just an example, are desperate to upgrade in the middle infield, that's not an option. So all of a sudden, Donovan becomes theoretically more pricey.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe, to this point, it feels like the Mariners think he's too pricey as it is.
Yeah, so if he already is, then now what does that mean?
No, that's a good point. There's a very real possibility that they go, you know what? Now Marte is off the board. This puts a lot more value on this guy, and price just went up, everybody. So, I I don't know exactly. We've all speculated, heard people speculate as to what the asking price is for Donovan. I don't know what's real, what's not, but yeah, you'd hope they were close. I mean, who knows? They could be trading phone calls as we're speaking, like, hey, we're right there. Let's just push this thing over the edge and get it done. But yeah, this certainly could have an impact on it. And we spoke with John Morosi. This is back on the 30th, and he said the Mariners could get a deal done for Donovan if they were to include some of their top prospects.
The Mariners definitely have the prospects to get this done. They would not, in my opinion, they don't have to give up major league talent to get Brendan Donovan because their farm system is good enough. Now, they may easily say, hey, we're just not going to give up our best prospects, and that's, as a result, that's the sticking point. And I suspect at this moment in time, that's what it is. And if my strong sense is that if the Mariners would have been willing to put in Colt Emerson or Cade Anderson or possibly even Lazaro Montes in the deal by now, that Brendan Donovan would be a Seattle Mariner. That if they're willing to put one of those three in there, I think he'd be a Mariner by now. I really do.
I think that's the first time I've heard him say his name.
I knew you weren't there when he said it live. I was thinking, I hope Bob hears that, and now you did, so I'm very glad.
That was good. Lazaro Montes. Yeah, that was the rumor I'd been hearing, that they wanted Senja and Montes. And I don't know if there was somebody else in addition to that or if it was just those two. Look, those guys to me aren't untouchable. Montes is a guy I'm super curious about, though. He could end up being a bust. This is not me saying this is a surefire superstar. You can't trade him. I'm just, for selfish reasons, I'm super curious as to what he turns into because he's huge and he's a kid. He's a massive left-handed power hitter. And he's, everybody calls him Baby Jordan, and he's bigger than Jordan. He's a huge guy. Does he turn into anything? I don't know. It's just more out of selfish curiosity, like, wow, this guy could be something big, or maybe he just turns into nothing.
It's tough to see the Mariners making a trade like that now in the offseason when you don't quite know what this team will be. Maybe you don't need this second base help. As the season goes along, you could find that you're okay. But if you find that this is the missing piece, I'm more susceptible to saying, all right, part with some prospects. It might be tough at midseason, where we saw them make the moves for Naylor and Suarez last year. Right. They got the pieces they needed to exactly get where they wanted to. So if that's the case this year, where second base is just a little bit of a void, okay, deal some prospects that might be tough and might not be palatable. They're a part of your future, but if you can win now, do it. But I understand why there's been no movement, because to give up that much right now in the offseason feels like way too much.
They do need another bat, though.
They do.
So in what form does that come?
Maybe
if it's not Donovan.
Maybe that comes close to the trade deadline.
See, that's the lesson I want him to learn is, maybe if you start the season hot with your pieces in place, you don't need to have that mad dash at the end. Like, certainly you want to add. You're going to figure out what your holes are, even if you add bats now. There's going to presumably be some holes, maybe due to injury, lack of performance. Who knows? You can address it. But it'd be nice to hit the ground running at full strength rather than, well, let's play it out and see. Yeah, it's not good. We're not getting anything from that position. All right, it's costing us a game here and there. And then all of a sudden we're at the trade deadline and maybe you're down a few games in the division where you could otherwise be up had you strengthened your roster to begin the year. I feel like they're always in kind of catch-up mode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and usually it does come back to hurt them. This year, I don't think it did. I mean, they were fine. They got where they needed to towards the end of the year. It wasn't a lack of home field that cost them in the playoffs. I mean, they came back up 2-0 against the Blue Jays, so it wasn't home field. But yes, normally, and they do have two positions to fill, so I agree that there's got to be someone. But to get that cost now feels like a lot, unless you think that Donovan is worth that much to upgrade and keep you at that level of at least ALCS this season.
All right, his bold prediction has come true. So we'll see what else Paul Moyer wants to predict when he joins us next. It's Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salk, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker. This is a test of your emergency alert system.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, free agent outfielder Max Kepler has been suspended 80 games today for violating Major League Baseball's drug program. They announced that Kepler tested positive for a performance-enhancing substance. The 33-year-old spent the 2025 season as a platoon outfielder for the Phillies, so he will miss 80 games. Meanwhile, here's the least shocking story ever. Maverick star Anthony Davis has ligament damage in his left hand that could require surgery that would sideline him for several months, according to ESPN. An MRI today revealed damage sustained while he was making a drive on defending a driving player on the basket, and then he's hurt. So if Davis and the Mavs choose a non-surgical route, he's expected to miss at least 6 weeks.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out.
I think you're right, Lefko, that Wyman just wasn't going to be able to. He was not going to be able to tolerate the victory lap that our next guest is wanting and just salivating for. Just wants the parade, wants his bouquets, and you know what? He's earned them with arguably the second greatest prediction of his life. And he's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He's with us each and every week. Our buddy Paul Moyer is here. How are you, man?
Well, I'm still waiting.
Would you, before we get into all of that, would you call now, Paul Moyer? Let's refresh everybody's memory. Back on November 25th, Seahawks were just coming off their game against your beloved Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. They beat them, but it was we weren't feeling good about it. The Titans put up some yards. Cam Ward had his best game of the year. We're going, what was that? And we were feeling a little shaky, even coming out of a win, and then Paul Moyer was here to calm everybody's nerves. This is what he had to say.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I don't think the Seahawks lose another game in the regular season. I think we run the table. And, the Ram game's going to be a monster game on December 18th. But looking at the film, the teams that we're about to play, I see us running the table.
Wow. All right.
Tuesday,
keep that soundbite, Lefko.
November 25th. I got it written down here at 3:05 p.m.
3:05. Mine says 3:06. Change that real quick.
Oh, well, we weren't accurate there. I mean, you were calling for a 6-game sweep of you had the Rams in there, you had the 49ers in there, had the Colts in there. That was a bold prediction. Would you say that's your second best prediction ever, Paul, or do you think it's even better than your Super Bowl prediction of the Seahawks hammering the Broncos?
Well, I think they were both bold in that I think when people looked at the schedule, might be able to buy off on they'll run the table because you had the Rams and the 49ers and Carolina at the time we didn't know much about. But we were about to play Indy, who was playing well. I think that was before their quarterback got hurt. I think I was throwing it out there. And the one thing that's in common between those two, Bob, I trust the film. When you really watch film and you see a team that, like the Seahawks, we've had enough sample size throughout the year where I said, we're really good. I kept saying, we're really good. We're really good. We're winning on the road. Teams who win on the road, you have to be good. We're the best road team in the NFL. There were 3 games we lost that we didn't play well at the end of the game. We could have, I'm not going to say we should have, we could have darn near gone undefeated this season if we closed the deal on the last drive of each game. So I wasn't sure because you're never 100% sure, but when you push me on it, I just truly believe we're the best team in the NFL, and if we stayed healthy, we were going to run the table. And guess what? I'm not stopping there. I think it continues. We got home field advantage. everybody's trying to find who should we play in the divisional round. It's not going to matter because it's the last 4 teams in NFC, and all of them are good teams. But they all have a major weakness, and I don't see us having a major weakness. Now, a lot of them throw it on Sam Darnold. I go, that's not a weakness. That's our weakness? I'm good with that. So, yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I think people were more in awe when I had the blowout versus Denver because Denver at the time was the most prolific offense in the history of the NFL. And so a lot of people didn't believe me, but those who watched the film did.
So just to clarify, you're making your next bold prediction right now, saying the Seahawks obviously are going to continue to run the table all the way to a Super Bowl title.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on the Super Bowl because I need to study who we're about to play. But I already know that more than likely we're going to play the Rams again, more than likely. The 49ers, good with that. Their defense just is not good enough. I mean, they'd have to make so many plays offensively to beat us. I just don't see it happening. We just match up too well. You know, you go and watch the 49ers and everybody was in awe of them and their offense. I go, McCaffrey's a matchup nightmare for defenses if you don't have somebody who can cover them. Kittle's a matchup nightmare. Their run game's a matchup nightmare. It's just not a nightmare to the Seahawks. And it's now 3 games in a row where McDonald has Shanahan's number. So I feel great about that one. The Rams, it comes down to who's going to make plays. And I still feel like we haven't made enough plays against them to prove I think we're a superior team to them. It's the closest of the group for sure. So the reason why I'm waffling a little bit, I'm going to take it through to the Super Bowl, the next 2 games. We're going to the Super Bowl, and then I'll do my prediction. Well, we got to have – I can't throw it all on this show.
That's true. But they're getting there.
Yeah.
We have to spread out the greatness and the prediction wisdom into one big moment for the Super Bowl pick.
I got you. That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
A man of wisdom like myself is where we are right now. But I'm only taking it to the NFC Championship game.
He's a man of experience,
Man
Mike.
of experience, Bob. He knows the
Man
weight.
of experience. Mess that up.
Yeah.
I gotta write
No,
that
it's
down.
both. See, we gave you all the proper adjectives. I mean, Bob can throw in some more if you want right now because you did nail the pick. But I think we have experience, we have wisdom on there. Dave will make up another one, but he's not here. But yeah, I mean, we'll add some more, Paul, before the Super Bowl, especially if we get that pick right. But yeah, it was an impressive pick there.
I feel better. Can't say it's been the greatest week of my life, so I needed this. I needed that affirmation, that love from you guys. So thank you.
That's what we're here for. We are here to make you feel like a man of experience and a man of wisdom, Dave, as Bob always likes to say that at the end. But Paul, as you look at this team, and we really talked about the run game after that win against the 49ers, and rightfully so. But when you look back at these past few games, what has clicked with you in that run game, and how much do you think it helps going into the playoffs?
Well, it's obviously huge. I mean, if we can't run it, I think we can throw it. Don't get me wrong. I think if we had to throw it 40-plus times, we're more than capable. I think we actually protect pretty well. I've said forever, Sam Darnold's the most talented quarterback we've had. You just got to keep, seeing those windows and throwing to those windows that are open. But I've been seeing it, and I've been talking with Ray Roberts and anybody on our broadcast who will listen to me, and after a while they don't want to listen to me anymore. But I keep saying this run game is really close, particularly after the Ram game. After the Ram game, I said, wow, we're at another physical level than other teams are. You think everybody's got the same physicality throughout the NFL. Man, that's just not true. And when you put on the tape and you're watching and we're on the other side of the line of scrimmage often, the way we double team, the way we move people, what I didn't feel like was the running backs were in sync yet with the offensive line. I thought sometimes they need to help them. And they got to go ahead and stay through some skinny holes. We may have had a guy sealed off on our left and a guy sealed off on our right. Let's just say our guard and our tackle. They sealed both of their tackle and their defensive end. And there's a little tiny sliver. I mean, it's a 6-inch, 8-inch window to run through or crack to run through. You got to run through those. And I'm seeing that now. And it's more downhill with an occasional I'll make some guys miss early. It just looks different. And, again, I still think we need to push the ball downfield a little bit more with some explosive passing plays. But everything looks good. There's nothing – I don't see a weakness on our team, and I think that's what separates us from most of the other teams out there.
So in looking at the potential matchups, there's 4 teams, obviously. It's the Rams, it's the 49ers, Packers, and the Panthers coming out of this weekend. And we've been having this just kind of fun debate, talking to Dave and other former players. As a player, do you want the perceived big guy on the block, the bully, if you will, the Rams, or do you go with where the fans are? You want the easiest route. You want what appears to be the easiest route. You want the Panthers to upset the Rams so you can face the Panthers, or you want the Packers to beat the Bears so you can face the Packers, the presumably easier teams. Where is your mindset with that, Paul? Is now an analyst? Is that different from what it would be if you were out there playing?
As a player, I don't care. They're not even thinking about who they're going to play. We're at home. I think that's always the number one criteria. I always wanted to be at home. I love the home crowd. The 12s they're amazing. Bob, I really believe the Seahawks think about your question differently. I think the rest of the teams are going, how do we avoid Seattle? Man, I don't want to go up to Seattle. I don't want to play that defense. I don't want to play that physical run game and the way they play action. These guys from the great special teams, they're physical in all 3 elements of the game. So I avoided your question a little bit, but I'm going to get to it. I really believe, though, that that's not what they're thinking. They don't care. They don't care. The Rams come up, just beat them. Matter of fact, if we get off to a good start, maybe we beat them worse than we did the last time we played them. I guess it would be nice if Carolina upset the Rams, but then they beat them twice, so maybe they're better than the Rams. I get the matchup's not as good for us. I mean, Puka is a challenge, and we got to figure that one out. Green Bay, are they not good? Are they not as good? Green Bay, the Rams, it doesn't matter. I mean, what we're going to face next week is one of the 4 best teams in NFC, and I think that whoever represents NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. But now that you're pushing it, yes, I would love for Carolina to upset the Rams, but that means then I need all the favorites to win, right? So in other words, now I want Philly to win. I want Chicago to win so I can play Carolina. But if, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Rams will beat Carolina. They're not very good. Sure, I'll take Green Bay, I guess, over the Rams, but it's a coin flip. They're more than capable. They've got all their wide receivers healthy. They got Love finally coming back healthy. We haven't seen him for a long time. Obviously, losing their best edge rushers is challenging for Green Bay. But I don't care. I really don't. Just bring on the next person. Matter of fact, bring me the Rams, the 49ers, and the Patriots. All 3 of those teams I hate. Throw in Pittsburgh if you want. Let's go ahead and mop them up. Let's hoist the Lombardi trophy, and let's go celebrate.
And then beat some other random team just for the heck of it, to rub it all in there.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. In fact, let's play 2 games a week. Let's do this.
Paul, in talking about that, actually, a guy that's dealing with some double duty essentially right now is Clint Kubiak. We were kind of talking about everything he's going through in interviewing for jobs. He reportedly interviewed with the Ravens and the Raiders today. You were a coach when you were prepping for something like the Seahawks are going through right now. If someone threw a bunch of other work on your plate, how distracting would that be? Or is it just knowing how to manage your time and make sure that's not a distraction?
Yeah, I think that last part you just said is the key. Most of these offensive and defensive coordinators or assistant coaches, they have an idea at this point if they're going to be interviewed, and they better be prepared, and they certainly better be organized. They have their script. They know what they want to present. Yeah. You coach yourself up when you get to that level. I think for Clint, the challenge there is somebody better like when Mike McDonald was available, the Seahawks waited that out. They knew who they wanted, and they were going to wait to the last minute to interview him and hire him. Clint's kind of his first go-around of this. He's going to be for sure one of the top couple of offensive coordinators that people are going to want to talk to. But you don't always get it your first go-around. A lot of times it's, all right, I'm going through the process. People know who I am. You got to wow people. I mean, you got to wow, not just with X's and O's. You are the face of that organization. And I just think with the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl, it just puts Clint, unfortunately, in a tough situation. It's a good thing for the Seahawks. You want the Seahawks to go to the Super Bowl just to take your coordinators kind of out of that interview process.
Assuming he's going to be moving on to another situation, how tough is it to replace what he's brought? Because the offense has been problematic as we've come to know, and this year they're a top 10 offense. It doesn't mean they're perfect, but this is I think we forget where they rank and how good they have been when you look at the season in its entirety. How big of a loss would it be? And is there anybody that just playing this out hypothetically? He takes one of these jobs that are available. Is there anybody that comes to mind that you feel like, okay, this could be a seamless transition? This could be somebody that I would look at if I were in their spot, or do you look at it and just go, man, I hope he doesn't leave, because there's not a realistic option out there as I see it right now?
Well, I think I would hate to see him go because just the continuity. Look, you got Sam Darnold, your quarterback. Everybody likes Clint, right? You heard Cooper Kupp yesterday. He talked about Clint that, hey, man, you want to go play with guys that you enjoy being around every day, right? I mean, they're going to go fight harder for that. I think though Mike Macdonald, he knows exactly what he wants. He knows this is more philosophical. I don't think it's necessarily the X's and O's. And there's guys from that tree, go find McVay, go find Shanahan. I mean, that tree is pretty long on those branches to find people. There's a lot of smart guys out there. You don't make it in the NFL as a coach if you're not smart. So, I would hate to lose him. I think he's done a fantastic job, but I believe if he were to go and someone was to replace him, they're not going to change the philosophy. Coach McDonald's already set that. And then I believe same scheme, he's going to bring someone in and said, this is how we do things. Do you have that experience? Are you capable of doing it? I think we'll be fine. But it's one more thing, obviously, in the offseason or very quickly that Mike Macdonald would have to do that he's probably not hoping to do.
Hey, Paul, this is an interesting conversation that Dave and Bob were having yesterday about the pending free agents for the Seahawks in that 2022 class. They're still going to have 4, Ken Walker, Riq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, and Boye Mafe. Has your opinion changed at all since the season has began and gone on about whether you'd re-sign any of those 4?
Throw me the 4 again.
So you have Ken Walker, Riq Woolen, Kobe Bryant, and Boye Mafe.
I want them all.
You want them all back? Is it feasible? Do you think they can bring them all back?
I think Mafe may be the tough one because he's an edge rusher. He's had past success. He's played a lot, but we have guys there, right? I mean, it's deep. You got Hall. You obviously got Nwosu and D-Law. So, if you're going to – and then I think you got some guys in the practice squad that are really interesting too. I really do. So maybe that just from a contractual standpoint. I think K9 will be tough also. It's just the value of that running back. You usually you sign somebody more than you sign your own at running back. And you got Charbonnet that, maybe they feel like they can go in there and they get a young running back to do it. I think the guy who's helped himself the most, though, it's Riq Woolen. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a point we were talking about trading him during the middle of the year. He's turned a leaf. He really has. And I think it's a lot with Coach McDonald. I think it's a lot with the players they've brought in, the leadership. If you play on our defense, you're not just a corner guy. You don't get to just cover. You got to do it all. You got to tackle. You got to take on blocks. And I've watched him over the last 3 or 4 games. He's a changed man. And he is going to command some money because he can run and near most guys, and not necessarily, 3 or 4 moves and stuff. He doesn't have maybe that kind of change of direction, but he's become an elite corner, and that one's going to be tricky because I think he's going to cost a lot, and that'll be interesting to see if we re-sign him.
Paul, before we let you go, I want to get your thoughts on the jobs that are open out there. If you were if you were Kubiak, you're just a candidate that has yet to be a head coach, but you've got options. You've got multiple teams that want your services. What's the best job? What's the job you look at and go, no way, no way?
Well, the Jets are probably in no way because they don't have a quarterback, and the ownership has just proven they're a train wreck.
Well, they still have their coach. Technically, they don't have an opening as we sit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you said offensive coordinator, so I was thinking elsewhere. Well, you never know. The Jets, you never know. They may fire him.
You're never secure
You're
there.
going to will it into existence there.
But I think there's two ways I would go. One, I think the Giants are interesting. They got a lot of good young players that were hurt, and they're going to come back. I think they have a quarterback. I'm not 100% sure yet with Dart. Baltimore, you do have a quarterback that's play action. Historically, they have done a good job in the draft and build the defense, so maybe that's an easy transition. Here's what I currently do. But then it's also, again, I don't want to say Vegas because they're a train wreck too from an ownership standpoint. But now you have a chance to get a quarterback. I don't know if there's one in the draft that they love. It usually means you're going to get fired before you get a chance to develop them. And so I really think it's just the offensive coordinator, Kubiak, if he gets one of the gigs, is what's the best opportunity for me to have success? I think the Giants may be the one. And the only reason why I'm saying that is it's a young, pretty talented group of guys. Historically, they've done a good job in management, or at least from an ownership standpoint. It's New York. That would be kind of cool. But if you want something that's proven and I think is plug and play, ready to go, I think it's Baltimore.
Yeah. Before we let him go, let's relive his glory one more time.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I don't think the Seahawks lose another game in the regular season. I think we run the table. And, the Ram game's going to be a monster game on December 18th. But I just looking at the film, the teams that we're about to play, I see us running the table.
Wow. All right.
Tuesday,
Keep that soundbite, Lefko.
November 25th. I got it written down here at 3:05 p.m.
3:05. Mine says 3:06. Change that real quick. I'm in finance, guys.
Yeah.
Details matter.
Right. Accuracy. Yeah. It was important.
Paul, congrats on that. Just a bold prediction at the time, and you went out on a limb, and you come up aces there. So let's off the air plan our trip to Vegas, where you and I will just follow your pattern, follow your recommendations, and get rich. How about that?
I love it. And I just want to thank, again, you guys, Cairo, everybody there, just for my time here. It's been good. I'm not going away, but as I get a little bit older, I appreciate relationships and these moments. And this is still really one of the highlights of my week. So thanks for letting me be on with you guys.
Of course. It's one of the highlights of our week as well,
Yeah,
Paul. We
absolutely.
look forward to it. And we look forward to next week, my friend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games, and we'll talk again next week.
You got it. Go Hawks, guys.
There you go. There's Paul Moyer, everybody with us each and every week, and just a bold prediction at the time.
It really was, because they'd already lost to the Rams. And you're right, they didn't look good against the Titans.
We didn't feel good.
And they had lost to the 49ers earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And you saw what was looming. So to win 6 in a row and have no slip up.
And see that the Rams and 49ers were ahead of you.
Yeah.
And so that was, hey, kudos to him, man. I think when he said that, we all kind of looked at each other and went, what? Is he crazy? Save it.
Can I reveal something behind the scenes?
What?
At the time, you said save that Lefko. I didn't. I was like, you know what? If they win a few games, I'll go back and pull it. I was like, they're not going to beat the Rams and all that. And then they started to win. They beat the Rams. I go, I got to go find that clip.
Wait,
and
what
pull
day
it.
was that? I got to find that. That's good on him. Paul Moyer, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys didn't catch all of that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, Football Fridays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Big changes are coming to Major League Baseball in the near future. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, Mike Lefko in for Wyman at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game, to beat the Rams, and that place that night, Salt, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
For those diagnosed with anxiety, depression, or PTSD, Northwest Ketamine Clinics wants you to know hope exists. A recent patient, Evan, details his experience.
Every day was a struggle. I was constantly throughout my life researching what are new ways, are there any breakthroughs for depression, anxiety, these things. And at some point I started to read a few things about ketamine. I probably read every single thing on the website multiple times.
Northwest Ketamine Clinics defines success as a reduction in symptoms by 50% or more. Over a 3-week period, 86% of their patients are successful.
When I arrived at the clinic, it was just a beautiful, peaceful, quiet place. As I saw that healing and growth could take place, and as I put the energy into it, I just saw so many things change in my life.
Welcome to the Pacific Northwest's most experienced ketamine center. Book a free phone or video consult at nwketamineclinics.com. Healing starts here.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Hey everyone, did you hear? Seattle U took down the Huskies and the Cougs. Up next is a huge game for state bragging rights. Seattle U versus Gonzaga on January 17th at Climate Pledge Arena. Go to seattleu.com/tickets. Red Hawks rising.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Gonna let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred was on WFAN the other day, and they went into kind of the future of Major League Baseball, and he says that they want to expand, which would then mean realigning the leagues east and west.
I would like to expand. I think 32 would be good for us. And, fundamentally, it's a lot of cities like to have Major League Baseball. When people want your product, you ought to try to, find a way to sell it to them. It's kind of basic. Number one. Number two, it does a ton of for us from a format perspective. You would realign. You would do it along geographic lines, which could alleviate a ton of the travel burden that's on players. Remember, we ask our players 162 times in 186 days. So most of the play between 162 and 186 travel, right? I mean, so you can eliminate a lot of that travel, make it less burdensome, which would be a great thing in terms of player health and safety.
I like his eagerness to expand and talk about it that way. Maybe he could, connect with Adam Silver and put a bee in his bonnet. But when he's talking about East and West, is he talking about just 2 leagues?
Yeah. So instead of American
League,
there'd be
no divisions?
No, you'd have divisions within, I think, which would then
within the West.
Yeah, which
so
would then be interesting
the West division?
You wouldn't necessarily have
the Central West Division.
Yeah, or you would rename them, like the NBA does or the NFL, where you wouldn't maybe necessarily call your leagues the East and West, but the realignment would be like that. And then he kind of went on in another clip, talked about how they want to do that for the playoffs, where you have teams like the Red Sox and Angels playing. From a TV market standpoint, if you have the Angels and, say, the Giants in the same league now and they're playing in the playoffs, easier to keep in that West Coast primetime slot. My biggest issue is, hey, baseball, you got a lot of labor issues that are going to come up way before this expansion talk, so can you figure those out first? Because you're going to expand, but then not maybe have a 2027 season? That's what concerns me.
With as long as they've been saying we may not have a season in 2027, you figure they'd be laying the groundwork to avoid that.
I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be crippling. This is not the NFL. This is not the behemoth that will get people back immediately and they'll be just starving for it. Some will. I would. I'm a baseball honk, but that's not the case with most. So they can't afford a work stoppage. It doesn't mean that the sport's going to die and fans won't come back, but it's a much slower build than it would be for the NFL.
Well, and it would even be frustrating if you have a disrupted season. So perhaps it's not a whole season stoppage, but even if you lose a month and then everyone's going to restart, we saw the awkwardness kind of what was it, 2020, when they all of a sudden just went right down to spring training and got the 1 month kind of ramp up. And of course, there are world-altering circumstances that affected that. But look how strange that season was. So if you have any kind of altered season because of labor issues, it's going to disrupt things. So I don't want to see that. So when he says expansion, it would help the Mariners if they're not traveling as much. But let's figure out some labor issues first before we deal with expansion.
Well, and hopefully they can handle more than one thing at a time. So I don't know there's no focus on that because he's talking about this. But yeah, that should be, and I'm going to believe is the priority.
Sweeping the dial.
Everyone focusing on this Rams-Panthers matchup as the one that seems like the most obvious, quote, upset when it comes to the seeds. The Rams are the big favorites. Bob and I talked about it, that 10.5-point favorites. But they did lose to the Panthers in the regular season. So Sean McVay was discussing what needs to change this time against the Panthers.
You know, the things that are the most important that are reflective is being able to, get off the grass defensively. They were able to maintain and get some big conversions, and they did a great job. Like I talked to you guys about after that game, they made the plays to be able to win the game, and we came up short, and we had our chances, but there's a lot of learning ops. But we do have a very clear understanding of what's going to be required for us to be at our best, to do the things that are necessary first and foremost, starting with ourselves, and then geared towards the opponent and the schemes.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe they'll look past them. It's a trap game. You've heard of those.
Right.
The 10.5-point favorite. I mean, it'd be great if they somehow were able to feel a little too certain about this and the Panthers surprised them, but it just doesn't seem likely. And I expect Sean McVay is a great coach. As much as I dislike the Rams, he's a great coach. I don't think it's possible for the team to overlook anybody, and I think they're going to look at the game tape and look at what went wrong, and it'll all be corrected from that last meeting.
Yeah, something looks a little off, certainly about the offense over the last few weeks. Maybe the Seahawks did break them a little bit, but off to the extent of not as dominant as they were at the start of the season. No. So not bad enough that I think the Panthers will give them any issues. But do
you want to go back and change your pick for calling
No. We already called it out. We have to abide by the integrity of those picks. So Rams, they're going to win big, we all think. And yeah, unfortunately, Sean McVay will have them ready to go.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, we are turning you over to the second college football playoff semifinal at 4:40, IU and Oregon. Last night, the first college football semifinal, as dramatic as it gets, came down to the final play. Ole Miss just short on a pass to the end zone, but Miami took the lead late on a go-ahead rushing touchdown from Carson Beck.
2nd and goal from the 3. Down 3. Snap to Beck. Looking center of the field, nothing. Surveying has nothing. Now he's going to run for it at the 5, and Beck is into the end zone. Touchdown. 18 seconds to go, and Carson Beck trying to run the Hurricanes back home to Miami for a championship game.
That was good stuff. That was a compelling game, and I didn't have a rooting interest. I didn't really care. Once again, I just have this knack of not really tuning into the broadcasters, but I saw on social media everybody just laying into Herb Street, talking about him slobbering over Carson Beck every time. I didn't notice that. Did you?
No, I was hoping you would accidentally gotten the Pat McAfee broadcast again.
Not a chance.
That was happening also, by the way.
Not a chance. But I didn't really notice that. But I got on Twitter and was looking at some of the response, and all of a sudden I saw that Herb Street is trending. I'm like, did he say something I didn't catch? And it was just, he's sly. And this guy turns his head to the left. He's a genius. He falls down. He's a genius. Like, they made it sound like he was just completely over the top in his love for Carson Beck.
I don't think so. I mean, of course, maybe you're listening. Maybe it was Ole Miss faction that was hearing that. So you're listening for different things. I just thought it was hilarious, and it just sums up the compartmentalization of college sports fans, where the Damon Williams news literally happens as the game's about to start. And everyone's bemoaning what's wrong with the state of college football. And then, the game starts. All right, we are tuned into this. Ratings are to be insane. It was the most incredible game, that we can put aside all the issues with college football. And literally a guy that almost broke the whole system in Damon Williams. And he's back, but let's watch this game and forget about all those problems. And it'll happen again tonight. IU Oregon. Everyone's going to tune in. You'll have some kind of rooting interest, and we'll forget about all the problems in college football, because that's what we do as sports fans.
Well, and these games are compelling.
They're great. It was a fantastic semifinal.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you hate IU, so you're an Oregon Duck fan.
Tonight I am. I feel about IU probably as all these UW fans feel about Oregon. So hopefully they can understand that. But I understand why they're not rooting for Oregon.
Well, I would just say this for our listeners. Don't try to understand it right now and send in your mean text at 866-979-3776. Mike Lefkoe is an Oregon Duck fan.
Go Ducks.
So you got that. We got mean text coming up at 4:30. We also have 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Just open the Seattle Sports app, hit the Win tab, or head to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find out how to enter. If you don't have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. Contest runs through Wednesday, January 14th. Meanwhile, we've got one obvious candidate and one unlikely source for our WHYMAN of the week. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 every morning at 7:45. Brock Eward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, that it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
Here's what you can look forward to when you get your windows replaced. The whole house being way warmer and a lot quieter. Dave Wyman here, and when we had finally had it with our old windows with broken seals, we called Harley Exteriors. They were incredibly friendly, professional, and absolutely knew their stuff. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They keep heat in and noise out. Plus, they're truly gorgeous windows. I said, you guys must use a different type of glass, and sure enough, it's their Olympic series, which is manufactured here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans. Buy one window and get the second 40% off. No payments or interest until 2027, and take an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today. That's harleyexteriors.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III!
Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
he was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't, and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination, and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper. What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
It is WHYMAN, presented by Mazda of Everett. A couple of interesting candidates here, and this has been the dominant story in the world of college football for the past couple of days, and that has been Damon Williams and him agreeing to a deal with the University of Washington for somewhere over $4 million for the 2026 season, then 4 days later saying, just kidding, I got to do what's best for me, and presumably what's best for him was going to be LSU, somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 million. Those were the reports. And then he took a raft of grief nationally. Everybody was laying into him and what a horrible thing this was, and now all of a sudden he's like, just kidding, I'm coming back.
You know what I made the analogy to? I think you guys would love this. It's the George Costanza where he quit and then comes back and pretends that nothing happened.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
When shows up to a meeting.
When all this news started to come out last night, as our show gave way to college football playoff, and the game's about to start, and this is coming out, and I had to realize, okay, this is actually possible. I put that out there. I was like, well, how does this work? Do you just pretend it never happened? Because you can't push that back in. Pandora's box has been open. You can't put it back.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, Lefko. Can't do it.
So he pulls a Costanza, I guess.
I guess. That would have been fun if you just showed up to spring ball like, what's up, guys? What's the matter? Yeah, this is going to be a very fascinating to watch. But Pete Thamel, ESPN senior college football reporter, announces the likely return of Damon Williams during the pregame coverage of the Fiesta Bowl.
I've been told by sources within the last 15 minutes that Washington quarterback Damon Williams is leaning toward returning to the Huskies. He'd obviously announced 48 hours ago he intended to enter the NCAA transfer portal. LSU was his likely destination. Today's been a busy day for Damon Williams. His agent fired him. He picked up a lawyer, prominent attorney Darren Heitner, who works a lot of these eligibility cases. I've been told that Damon Williams spent most of today discussing his options. If he was to leave and transfer, he was going to face legal action from Washington. Sources there had made it clear to me they were going to enforce the $4.5 million contract he had just signed 4 days before announcing he was going to go in the portal.
Now, I would be curious to see how do they enforce it? Like, what does that mean? Because as we were talking about, as you were talking about and others, you can't make them play football.
So they were going to sue him for we're paying you, and this is, again, presuming, we're not going to see the contract later, but presuming that it's written pretty airtight, because there is kind of a template now. University of Washington is going to pay him $4.7 or whatever for use of his name, image, and likeness. So we're going to sell football jerseys or blah, blah, blah. So while you're at the University of Washington, we'll pay you this. So he would try to leave and say, well, I'm going to go play football here because you can't keep me from doing that. And then Washington says, all right, well, we paid you this money to be here, so you're not here. We're going to sue you for that.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's pretty airtight, and that's why he probably is like, well, it's not going to work out, and maybe LSU didn't want him because it sounds like, based on what's come out from these contracts, the school signing him would be on the hook
financially.
Yes,
Yeah.
they'd have their money reduced. They'd have to then pay some of that back as well. So if LSU did actually want him, if they saw that and then realized, nah, that's not what we want, that's probably why he's now back at Washington.
Well, yeah, because then he's going to end up costing them, what, close to $10 million, maybe, depending on how much they had to pay. Because if they were going to pay him $6 million, if that's an inaccurate report that we were seeing out there, then whatever UW was going to enforce, all of a sudden he becomes a $10 million guy.
You know, we talk about, hey, good for athletes trying to get the most they can. And who's to say that we're going to criticize a kid for making the most of an opportunity? But at some point, this is an absurd amount of money, whether it's 4.7 or 6 point whatever. And we looked up how old he is, 19 years old. Sure, okay, he's a kid in a sense, but he's also life-changing amounts of money. When does it become unnecessary? Where, all right, am I really going to want to disrupt every relationship I have and all of my future opportunities of people to trust me for another 1-point-something million? Is 4.7 not enough for a 19-year-old kid?
I just think he's getting, obviously, terrible advice from somebody. I don't know if it was somebody in his family, a friend, other relative. I have no idea.
Who obviously was set to capitalize off it.
Somebody was pointing him in the wrong direction. Yeah. I can give him individually a pass. He's 19. With that kind of money being thrown at me at that age, I've probably done a lot of stupid things, said a lot of stupid things. He's a kid. I don't necessarily blame him. Yeah, he's an adult. He's a kid. He's got to take ownership of it. But I think somebody did not have his best interest at heart, or somebody just had their head up their backside thinking, "Oh, that's no problem. Do this. You're fine," and didn't understand the world coming after him the way they did.
It definitely seems like probably a family member or someone that didn't know the specifics of the contract.
Yeah.
Like, well, hey, you're committed to Washington, right? You could get out of that. Look at all this money that's going to be thrown your way. Well, why don't you go explore your options?
Yeah.
No, you actually signed a legally binding contract to actually be at the school.
If anything, hopefully he comes out of this going, I'm not listening to that guy anymore. Whoever that person was.
The problem is it's probably a family member. It's someone that he trusted.
Hey, we're still family,
yeah.
But as far as career decisions go, I'm going to get advice elsewhere.
Right.
Thanks for your participation. All right, cut number 2 comes from an old coworker of mine, Matt Spiegel, out there at 670 The Score in Chicago. He was on talking about why Bears fans are excited about the Seahawks getting the number 1 seed.
Well, let me first say that we like that the Seahawks got the 1 seed with the Bears getting the 2 because we think it's more likely the Seahawks could lose and the Bears could host an NFC championship game should they be lucky enough to get that far than if it were the Niners. Yeah, no, that's open conversation in this town.
Is that just out of curiosity? Is that because no one there's ever actually watched the Seahawks?
Or they just don't
No.
trust Sam
What your defense seems to be pretty good, but it's that we watched a lot of Sam Darnold, including him crumble last year in the final game of the regular season and the playoffs, and the way that he crumbled in the one game against the Rams earlier in the year. But anyway, good for Sam. He's come along. I have nothing against him. I just trust the Niners in that offense a little more than I trust Seattle in that offense. That's all.
Wow.
It's a guy you know.
I know him, and he's that's sort of passive-aggressive shots he's taking there, isn't he?
Yeah.
What the hell, Matt? What's that about?
I was surprised. And I was like, this is going to be perfect for Bob. You've known him for a long time.
Yeah.
He comes on here, insults the Seahawks and Sam Darnold, that all of Chicago is rooting against Seattle.
Okay.
They have to win first. That's what I'd say.
You know, when I first moved there, I remember when I started working out there and getting to know my coworkers and like, oh, you're from Seattle, huh? You're a Seahawks fan? Well, wait till the Bears play. Like, immediately started talking smack. I'm like, whoa, who rattled your cage? I didn't say a word. So I grew to dislike the Bears when I was out there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I openly rooted against them.
But the Bears, why would they even care? That's what's so weird. They have their rivalry. They have the Packers rivalry. They have a little bit of a rivalry with the Lions. That's so strange. Inferiority complex out there, I guess.
I guess. I didn't care until I got around those people.
Yeah.
All friends, but, after a while, let me just tell you, I took great delight in the Colts beating the Bears in the Super Bowl.
So you were there when they were in the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was at that game.
You were there when they were good, so it probably built up a little bit. Had you been there when they were been bad, that'd be more surprising. But this makes more sense.
I was there during the glory of Rex Grossman.
Yes.
Taking him to a Super Bowl.
One of those great Bears quarterbacks. It was funny that Caleb Williams still did not reach that 4,000-yard milestone. They had built it up last week. Hey, finally, someone's going to hit this mark. He only needs 270 yards, and he fell short.
Unbelievable. All right. What's the national perspective on the biggest strength and the biggest unknown for the Seahawks team in the playoffs? NFL Network's Jeffri Chadiha will join us to talk about all of that. It's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Are people ready, Brock?
Brock and Salk.
Playoff football back in Seattle? It's been a while.
Morning 6 to 10.
Since we've had like the full deal, everybody full-throated, as loud as it gets.
Being in the building for their last home game to beat the Rams in that place that night, Salk, took me back to the Green Bay NFC title game. It had that kind of juice in the building. Yeah, I think the folks will be ready.
Only on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-Check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The college football playoff isn't over. Not yet. That epic run, that wild dream,
Not over till the clock hits 0, till the stadium shakes, till the wild things are let loose, till the trophy is lifted and the confetti falls. This is the national championship. When it's over, you'll feel it. This is the wild world of college football. The CFP National Championship, Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Seahawks assistants Clint Kubiak and Adam Dirty conducted interviews for head coaching positions today. And NFL Network's Mike Garafolo reports that the Lions have requested to interview passing game coordinator Jake Peetz for their offensive coordinator job. The Mariners will open NBC and Peacock's Sunday Night Baseball slate this season with their game against the Guardians on March 29th. It's that opening weekend of the 2026 season. The M's will also be part of the Sunday night package on May 17th at home against the Padres and August 16th in Houston, along with a game on NBC and Peacock at 2 o'clock on July 5th against the Blue Jays. And the second college football playoff semifinal featuring Indiana and Oregon begins here at 4:40. You can listen right here on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, we get a chance to kick back and watch some football this weekend. We kind of scout the teams that could be facing the Seattle Seahawks out here in Seattle the following weekend. A man who knows a thing or two about all of these teams who are in action and those who are sitting at home as well. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. You see him, you know him, you love him from NFL Network. Jeffri Chadiha is here with us. Jeffri, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, and excited about this weekend. It's always fun, you know, as somebody who covers a team or talks about a team for a living, to have a week off and be able to just lay on the couch and watch football and not have to take notes and not have to do things. So kind of looking forward to scouting some of the games this weekend. But I just want to get your some thoughts from you on this Seahawks team, which, you know, I don't know how much you pay attention, Jeffri, to preseason predictions and the over-under win totals, things like that. But we were seeing a lot of 7.5 wins, 6.5, 8 wins, 8.5 for the Seahawks team. And my co-host and I were sitting here going, are we drinking the Kool-Aid here? That seems awfully low, and everybody expected this huge step back year. And now you fast forward to 14 wins. How surprising is that to you, if it's surprising at all?
Well, I would say the surprise would be that Sam Darnold stepped in and didn't miss a beat from what he gave Minnesota. And I know it didn't end well there, but that was always the big question for me, was what kind of quarterback was he going to be in a new environment without Justin Jefferson and the things he had with the Vikings. And you saw really him step up step up and get things done. The defense doesn't surprise me because I knew Mike McDonald would do great things with that. But I imagine a lot of the probably underwhelming responses people had about the Seahawks had to do with Sam Darnold. And just the NFC was so sexy when the season began because, you know, the Commanders had Jaden Daniels still, and the Lions were still the Lions, and all those teams in the NFC North, and the Niners were supposed to rebound. So I think Seattle just kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit.
You know, you brought up two of obviously the most crucial elements to any of these teams. That's the head coach and the quarterback, which seem wildly elusive for a lot of teams. And you know, we've sat here and chronicled, you know, the number of starting quarterbacks the Browns have had over the past couple of decades, and the Bears, and head coaches, and how there's currently, as you and I are speaking, there's a new opening. Mike McDaniel fired out there in Miami, so now you got 7 openings. You look at the Seahawks with what you just talked about with Sam Darnold and Mike McDonald specifically. I mean, was he I'm curious your level of confidence in considering him coming out of Baltimore, great defensive coordinator, but hadn't been a head coach. Was he a slam dunk to you? Did you have any? Is what he's doing to this point in his first 2 seasons surprising, or are you looking at it going, yeah, that's what I expected from him?
Well, I don't think anybody expected number 1 seed, 14 wins, but I certainly expected success. You know, I went to Michigan. I watched him when he came in there as a defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh and had immediate success. And the way he operated, you kind of can tell when you've been around coaches who have that it factor, and he had it there because Jim Harbaugh's not an easy guy to work with and operate with. and then knowing being around John, who's the more stable side of it, I just thought he had a good foundation, and he'd been around good coaches who understood how to get things done. And so I thought he would put together a good culture and find the right mix of people. And to be honest with you, I think when I look at this season and his success in particular, that team success, right place, right time in terms of how the NFL has evolved, because it's not so much about do you have a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen anymore. It's really about defense and running the football and managing the game. And I really believe that Mike McDonald understood how important that was to success, and that's why they are where they are.
Yeah, and you bring up Sam Darnold previous to that and managing the game and everything. It's kind of been 2 seasons for him. He got off the first 9 games, Jeffrey. He was on fire. He was in the top 5 of every quarterback category, whether it's QBR, rating, yards per pass, whatever you want. He was just on fire, and we were out here going, whoa. I was a skeptic coming into the season. I was like, I don't know which guy he's going to be. And by game 9, I'm like, I'm sold. He's the man. And then we had that Rams game happen where he threw 4 picks. He's been a little different since then. He's been, I don't know if you want to say more careful, more prone to just taking the sack as opposed to throwing the ball away or throwing it into harm's way. But completion percentage has gone down. He's been a little less aggressive. Have you seen that in his games? Have you seen that sort of soft transition into what he is now, which is kind of managing, efficiency, 20 of 26 last week, but under 200 yards, no touchdowns, no picks?
Oh, I totally see it. I mean, I think Jackson Smith-Njigba sees it too. He was on a record pace there with the things Sam Darnold was doing. But I imagine what Sam Darnold went through last year at the end of the season, losing to Detroit the way that Minnesota lost, and then losing to the Rams, a couple blowouts with a lot of things that's, on the line, that he probably learned, okay, maybe I have to be able to make those transitions when I'm starting to get figured out or I'm not at my best. I really believe the most important thing the Seahawks did this season, this offseason, was deciding Clint Kubiak was going to be their offensive coordinator. And again, you see how much the right guy in a quarterback's ear can mean to his growth and his confidence and getting him through. The most impressive thing I've seen about Sam Darnold, and you mentioned some of those struggles, and I saw that in the Rams games too, is the way he's come back from those struggles. And I don't think he was able to do that last year, and he grew from that. But having somebody around him who's been with him in San Francisco and knows him well and knows how to operate with him, sometimes we want these quarterbacks to be, the Avengers right off the bat, right? Superheroes. And they all have to go through their own growth process. And I think Sam Darnold is going through his own still and learning in real time.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. And you bring up Kubiak. We might as well get to that right now. I was going to bring it up later, but we just talked about seven coaching vacancies out there as you and I are speaking right now. Who knows? There could be more, but he seems to be a candidate for at least 5 of them. 5 teams we know of have requested an interview. Is he going to be the new, Mike McDonald in terms of the hot young coordinator? He's 38 years old, and he's looked at as the future of coaching. Do you expect that perhaps he's going to be a guy that'll be coaching somewhere next year other than as the OC for the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, you got the right name, right? I mean, that helps a lot. And then you've got the success with a quarterback. I think it's different if you're talking about you coach Patrick Mahomes, but you're talking about a quarterback who a lot of people had questions about the way last season ended, and he's found success with him as well. He's been with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, so he's got that going for him. He's going to be hot. And I also feel like there's not a lot of brilliant offensive minds out there right now to pick from. And so if you're looking for that kind of coach, which most teams usually are, that helps him as well. So once you get past John Harbaugh, once you get past Kevin Stefanski, the guys who've been fired recently, there's other guys on that list too. He's going to rate very highly. I'd be surprised if he doesn't have a head coaching job by the end of this cycle.
Well, and hopefully they can make it count while he's here. This feels like it's hard, right? Yeah, it's a bummer because, again, the season has been, especially offensively, that's where all the change was. I mean, new coordinator, new quarterback, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett gone. You bring in new receivers and Cooper Kupp. I mean, just everything changed on that side of the ball. So it was such a big unknown. And to see this team now, number 1 seed in the NFC, they've got a bye. Everything runs through Seattle is just unreal. So when you look at everything that's working in their favor as we're speaking now, if there was one thing you pointed to and said, well, I could see this being the thing that holds them back from getting to the Super Bowl, from winning the Super Bowl. What's the one element of the team that you're not as certain about?
It's hard. I feel like it's either them or the Rams are going to win the whole thing. It's that to me, that they are a cut above everybody else that I've watched play. He might get an injury here or there that might set you back, but they're playing with such confidence, and they're. I think it back to when they had those championship teams with Pete Carroll and, the Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas group. And they never had an offense like this when that team was rolling like that. I mean, there are some elements to this team offensively with the run game when it's really going well. When you look at Smith and Jigba, if Cooper Kupp stays healthy, the way Darnold's playing, and then add that defense, the way they get after, everybody really. It's just hard to imagine them with 2 home games not being able to get it done. Now, I do pick, when I had to do a column, I picked the Rams to be the best team in the postseason just because I feel like when Devontae Adams gets back, they're going to be pretty good. And they were up 30-14 in Seattle. But to me, it's one of those 2 teams that's going to win it all.
So looking at that and looking ahead, hopefully the Seahawks are facing somebody from the AFC who's, I'm looking over there. They beat Jacksonville early in the season. Jacksonville looks like there might be a different team as we speak. And Denver seems to kind of be a mirror image of Seattle in that they've got a tremendous defense in Denver, yet the offense can be hot, can be kind of cold and kind of curious as to, all right, what's going on there? It's certainly not electric. How do you see the AFC stacking up?
Well, it's more muddled for my money, because I think everybody in the AFC is about even to me. There's not one team that looks like a Seattle or even the Rams over there. And I think in the NFC, the Rams, as I said, Chicago's, Philadelphia, those teams are a lot more flawed. But I look at the AFC as I feel like Denver's got the best shot because they've got home field advantage. After that, I like Jacksonville a lot because of the way Trevor Lawrence has played. And to me, he's given Jacksonville what Mike McDonald has given Seattle, like just that leadership and really been able to unlock the quarterback, and defense is playing well. And then probably under the radar is Buffalo. And I know that Josh Allen is still Josh Allen, and that defense has got some question marks. But you look at no Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow. Josh Allen's going to be the best player in the postseason, NFC, AFC. And he's the one guy who, if he got hot like Aaron Rodgers did when Green Bay won it years ago, you could see him doing that. But to me, it's flip a coin and pick whoever you want because they all are even to me.
Are you not buying the Drake May and New England Patriot hype right now?
You know what? It's hard because, and I'm a big Mike Vrabel fan, and I love the way they played, but they played 4 games against playoff teams this year. And I do think that, and they've lost 2 of them. And so I think that matters when you start getting into these types of games. And when you're a Seattle and you're playing in the NFC West and you're just banging against these teams week in and week out and playing these, difficult opponents, they've beaten Tampa Bay. They've beaten Carolina. Tampa Bay's not even in the playoffs. So they've beaten Carolina and they've beaten Buffalo. And those are their 2 wins against playoff teams. And Buffalo went back and beat them at home. So I feel like they could be had. And their defense has been giving up a lot of points and been having tough times against the run lately. I think that I'm just not sold on them. I just think they're not ready for prime time.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch from afar, certainly, and we'll see how they stack up. Hey, one thing that my co-host and I were debating or just having a conversation about, and this is obviously a lighter topic, is Coach of the Year, and should McDonald be, a guy that's at the top of that list? If I'm being objective, Jeffrey, I look at it and go, what he's done is remarkable. He's phenomenal. He should be in the conversation. For me, if I'm just looking at turnarounds and the coach, it's hard to argue with what's happened in Jacksonville, going from 4-13 to 13-4. Same in New England. I mean, the turnaround there. You're talking dreadful teams being turned into division winners, and I don't know, how do you see that race stacking up?
It is so hard, and I think this is the hardest it's been in maybe a couple decades in terms of the competition for that. And I agree with you, Mike McDonald. If this was being held in a different year or even a month ago, he's probably running away with it. But now this the way Jacksonville has finished, what New England has done. I mean, I think about Jacksonville, and they started the year talking about Travis Hunter was going to be the guy who turned everything around for them.
Right.
It's all built around him. He hadn't been anywhere to be found. I'm picking one guy. I'm going with Kyle Shanahan. And I know that he's in the same division, but I just think they've lost so many players. And when they lost Fred Warner after Nick Bosa went down and Purdy wasn't playing and they were winning with Mac Jones, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. And for them to be in a situation where they were playing for the top seed and the NFC West title in the last game of the season, wasn't surprised by how it turned out, because I think that they had, squeezed everything they could out of that orange. But I just think the job he's done, it just shows you how good he is as a coach, how great he is as a coach. And I just think most teams. I live in Kansas City. They lost 2 offensive tackles and it just went south. He's lost half a team.
Yeah, it's hard to argue with that, as much as we sort of sports hate the 49ers out here. But yeah, you gotta tip a cap. Hey, before I let you go, I was trying to make a case for the underdogs yesterday, and looking at the Panthers playing host to the Rams. You got Packers, who I guess are favored actually against the Bears. I saw. Reality. I mean, the Panthers just beat the Rams at the end of November, so they've done it. They're at home. Do you give them any chance in this game at all?
I can't. And I think that defeat had a lot to do with the Panthers defensive coordinator, Jiro Evero, having been a former Rams assistant, knowing Matthew Stafford a little bit. I just think you can't pull the same thing twice with them. I think they got caught with their pants down the first time, and I think it's going to be a blowout. But again, if I'm picking an underdog, I think the Bills are an underdog who can win. I think, God, who else would I pick in that group? I don't see the Packers winning. But yeah, I'd probably go with, I think the Texans are going to be interesting. They're a favorite, I'm sure, against the Steelers, but I think
they're a 3-point favorite.
But I think overall, I think a lot of people aren't talking about them, and the way they play defense, it reminds me a lot of Seattle and the Ravens back in the day. That defense gets hot. They could be hard to beat too.
All right. Last one before I let you go. You said either the Seahawks or Rams come out of the NFC. Who's your AFC team?
It's a lame, easy pick. I'll just go Broncos because they're the top seed and they play good defense. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to pick them because I'm not in love with them, but I just feel like they've got the best situation. Sean Payton has proven that, he still has it as far as coaching a team. And Bo Nix, look, when you're 11-2 in one-score games and you won 13 out of 14 games, you're doing something right. And I just feel like 2 home games for that group, they can get it done and get to San Francisco. They ain't going to win it, but they can get there.
Well, let's hope we're talking about a rematch between the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos. That would be delightful. Yeah. Jeffri Chadiha.
Might go the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeffri Chadiha of NFL Network has been our guest here, and always great to talk to you, man. Really appreciate you taking the time. You do a great job there. So hopefully we get a chance to talk again down the road. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. There's Jeffri Chadiha. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that, and it'll be right there waiting for you. And you are allowed to click subscribe. It's completely free. We made sure of that in the new year, 2026 rules. It's free.
Yes.
Just click subscribe, and it shows up for you. You never have to do a thing. It's a beautiful process. Football Fridays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. So we'll see what happens with the games, and then we'll see what happens with the coaches. Because I don't know, what would you be stunned, shocked, and amazed if this coaching staff was intact to start next season?
It feels like just with all the interest coming the way of the Seahawks assistants, and not just Clint Kubiak now, but we learned that Aiden Dirty had one head coach interview with the Browns. I don't think he's going to get hired there, but now Jake Peetz is getting some interest. The passing game coordinator, Mike Garafolo, reported that he's interviewing with the Lions for their OC position. So just the pieces that happen, and a lot of people talk about this, that's the price of success. And It certainly looks like it. You get into a system, people trust that good things will happen because you come from that system. McVay and Shanahan have churned through so many assistants, and now there's that cachet of, oh, you worked with them, you must have some good touch. So McDonald starting to get that sense of, look, they did this, and I think it was Jeffri Chadiha who just told you that Clint Kubiak's a popular name because of what he did with Sam Darnold here and what he's done with him. So you have that track record of a guy that not a lot of people thought was the superstar quarterback, leads a team to 14 wins. Look at this system. It's appealing. It's tough to see the Seahawks, especially if they get to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl, bringing this entire staff back.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it before, right? We saw it when they went through the Legion of Boom years,
All the
and
DCs.
they won the Super Bowl and got back the following year. You lost coaches, and Pete was great about it. Pete was almost excited about it. I mean, I'm sure deep down he doesn't want to see his guys go, but he was so supportive and excited for them, and preparing them for their opportunity. And McDonald is kind of the same. He's not as effusive as Pete. Nobody really is, but he seems to be the same way. Like, yeah, that's kind of the cost of doing business, and the cost of winning is you become an attractive place to poach from, if you will. And I don't blame. I mean, look, Seahawks did it. They saw the defensive success in Baltimore and said, "There's a guy we like." And a lot of people said the same thing. He was a very popular candidate. So I'll be stunned if it's the same coaching staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now, look, some of that made, as you just touched on, if they go out there and they lose in the first game or they lose in the NFC Championship game, maybe Kubiak or Dirty is looking at it like, yeah, we got unfinished business here, man. I want one more crack at it with these guys, and I don't want to coach the Raiders. So
right. And I don't know if there's a good fit for Kubiak in terms of demeanor and what his personality is, unless it's Baltimore. It would be tough to say, how do you pass up a chance to go work with Lamar Jackson? And, Baltimore, a much friendlier media market than, say, New York. So when Paul was saying the Giants as a team, yes, as a team, there's a lot that's intriguing with the Giants. They have a really good defense. They have a lot of young pieces and a guy you think is the quarterback. But for Clint Kubiak, who we've heard him speak, he's been on our station. He was on with Bump and Stacy when he got hired. He's soft-spoken. He's mild-mannered. That's a tough job to plop into as your very first head coaching opportunity. I don't know if you want that dysfunction. So I could see him doing something that you mentioned, like Ben Johnson, where you have a really good team here. You have this window of opportunity. Take this experience, come back for at least one more season, see what happens. Then Ben Johnson did eventually leave. But if it works out like that for Kubiak, I'm sure the Seahawks would love the opportunity for another season here to go with him as their offensive coordinator.
And look, there's no shortage of opportunities in that you're already in the league. You're in the door. There's already notoriety in your name. People requesting interviews. Other coaches will be fired next year. That's
what a bold statement, Bob. I cannot believe you're going to make that claim.
I'm going Paul Moyer here, making a crazy prediction. Next offseason, we'll talk about coaches that have been fired. Right. There's going to be some openings out there. So that's a certainty. So I think that might eliminate if I don't take this, I may never get another opportunity. Make sure it's the right one, because you're already in. You're already a name on people's list. And I think, if anything, it makes you more appealing if you're like, yeah, I'm going to stick where I'm at right now. Like, all right, let's pry this guy loose next year. And if the Seahawks have another good year next year, and you're just that much more attractive, and you've got that much more experience under your belt. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, the first time, maybe some are desperate to be a head coach, and they would say, look, I'm being offered a head coaching job in the NFL. I'm going to take it, because there's only a certain number of these, obviously. I don't see Kubiak being that guy, but I don't pretend to know him either. So he may have some desires that he's not verbalizing, that, this is, hey, man, one of these jobs that I'm talking to, I would, if I get that offer, I'm taking it.
And you know what? It lessens the sting a lot if the Seahawks win a Super Bowl. So that's the cost of doing business. And no offense to Clint Kubiak, but hey, if you want that job and it's a lifelong dream, go ahead and take it after the Seahawks win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a lot more palatable than, say, if you were the Ravens 2 years ago and Mike McDonald leaves after an AFC championship game loss, and now they haven't been back and they fire their coach. Or the Lions with Ben
their
Johnson.
Defense went downhill.
And now their offense, so the Lions goes downhill. And the Ravens defense has been in the tank. So it all kind of depends, I think, with Clint Kubiak about what the Seahawks do in the playoffs here.
Hey, we've got 2 chances for you to win 2 tickets to the Seahawks divisional round playoff game at Lumen Field. Just open the Seattle Sports app and hit the Win tab, or head to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find out how to enter. Now, if you don't have the app, all you do is text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free, and the contest runs through Wednesday, January 14th. All right, it's your last chance to get them in. Mean texts are coming your way. Again, 866-979-3776. We'll unveil your venom coming up next with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88, every morning at 7:45. Brock Eward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
So they got a bye week now, Brock. What do they do?
Obviously, you have the 4 opponents, Salk. You faced 3 of them this year and 2 of them twice this year. You're going to get to do a lot of watching and a lot of resting. And most importantly, these guys are going to get healthy, Salk. And I would expect when they do practice the following week, when we get an injury report, it's going to be very, very light.
Catch every Blue 88 on the Seattle Sports app.
We are well into the rainy season, Seattle, but it's not too late to get your roof replaced. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off your roofing project this winter. Our certified technicians build a custom plan for your home, ensuring a worry-free installation even in the winter months. Replace your roof now while material prices are low and lead times are short. Stop wasting your time on costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today and secure your $500 discount. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Guys, low energy, low drive, or strength not what it used to be? For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, start with a free T-check exam and consultation to get real answers. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. Call 206-529-1111 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
If you missed anything from today's show or any day, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. You got college football playoff action coming your way next. We'll talk to you on Monday with Wyman and Bob.
Worse. I think you can already say that this is the greatest turnaround job in the history of college football.
21-yard touchdown pass. Fernando Mendoza fires end zone. He's got Surratt who makes the catch. Touchdown, Indiana.
Incredible what Curt Cignetti and this staff have done in such a short period of time.
Quarterback matchup tonight could be the first two names off the board in Pittsburgh.
Dante Moore races to the right edge. He's in. Past the pylon with a touchdown Ducks.
Ultimately, you see guys gotten better and better each week. The piece that makes Dante different is every route's alive on every play.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Oregon.
Fernando, what have you seen from your team this week?
I see my team still stay humble and hungry.
If you're Dan Lanning, conversely, you got to tell your guys, hey, they beat us one time. Can they do it again?
It doesn't matter anymore who won that first matchup, just who wins tonight, because that team plays for the national championship. For the call of Oregon, Indiana, let's send you to Atlanta and our team of Quint Kesnick, Alyssa Lang, Dusty Dvorak, and Dave Pasch.
Well, Jim, in 10 days, when the Miami Hurricanes take the field at Hard Rock Stadium, it literally will be a home game for Miami against either Indiana or Oregon. And while today here in Atlanta certainly is not a home game for Indiana, it feels like a home game, and you can hear it right now as the Hoosiers take the field. We are guessing, just looking around us here, that it's about 90 to 95% red in this stadium. And why not? When you've had a year like this, Dusty, you might as well live it up as a Hoosier fan, because you may never get back. Although we thought that last year when Indiana made the college football playoff. They've taken it a step further this year, and now they're one win away for playing from a national title.
It looks like Bloomington South here in the ATL for this matchup. Cannot wait for this one, and you're exactly right. All Curt Cignetti did last year was outdo himself this season. Last year it felt like a good story. This year has been about proving that they aren't just going to be a good team this year, but it seems that they have real staying power at the top of college football.
All right, let's get to your game plan, brought to you by LinkedIn. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/CFB. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, Fernando Mendoza has been masterful all season, especially in the biggest moments, the biggest games when his team has had to have it. We'll see if that holds true here tonight. And for Dante Moore, he struggled the first time against this Indiana defense. Can they protect him? Can he get the football out to that bevy of playmakers he has outside? They are explosive. They have speed. And I can't wait to see how Dante Moore fares this go-around against this Hoosiers defense.
All right, let's check in with our two reporters who will be down on the field throughout the game. Let's start with Alyssa Lang.
Thanks, guys. So much has been made of this being a rematch. It's the fourth regular season rematch in this year's college football playoff field, the sixth in the history of the CFP. The regular season loser has won all but one of these rematches. Now, so much credit goes to Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza, Heisman Trophy winner, and this offense. But how about the defense? Defensive coordinator Brian Haynes said it's the first time he's ever done this. This being play a regular season team again in a postseason situation. He said this week has been a delicate balance between correcting and nitpicking what went well back in week 7. Just because it worked last time doesn't necessarily mean he needs to see it again, but maybe in some cases it does. He acknowledges that two different teams